Whether you remember Robin Hood as a Disney character
or the Men in Tights version. Alright, so in your own words, could you describe to me just generally what you think Robin Hood is?
Robin Hood is a hero who basically saves the poor people in his village by taking money from the king and the other wealthy members of his society.
Alright, in your own words, describe to us who you think Robin Hood is.
A fox, right? Isn't he fox? Yeah.
Alright, basically if you could tell us in your own words who you think Robin Hood is or was.
Wasn't Robin Hood a person who he helped the poor and he stole things for them to like make their lives better?
Alright, if you could describe to us in your own words who you think Robin Hood was.
In 2 words?
In your own words.
Oh, in your own words. I'd describe her as an innocent girl who got attacked by a wolf.
Robin Hood actually started out liking the king. In fact, he had a bro named John, and his pops was the king. But the king, King Richard III, started treating his people badly, and so he fled to Nottinghamshire. And this is where we get the famous story. He gathered a group of people called the Merry Men to help out in his outlaw skills. There also had to be romance in the story. Robin Hood had a lady named Maid Marian, and she was the only woman in the band of outlaw men. Then he started stealing from the rich like his dad and giving it to the poor. But in the story, there has to be a villain. The sheriff of Nottinghamshire, which did the opposite of Robin Hood. He stole from the poor and gave it to the rich by having the people pay high taxes.
In every account of him, Robin Hood is described as being extremely charismatic and a charmer. His appearance is usually the same every time: the feathered archer hat, the green tunic, and leather tight-fitting pants. He is always optimistic and cheery. He's an outlaw that steals from the rich and gives to the poor, a rebel who defies the snobby rich men of Nottinghamshire. The most important thing, though, is that he's an amazing archer.
In 1632, the ballad writer Martin Parker published a ballad about Robin Hood. He also sought to make him a historical person. He titled his account, A True Tale of Robin Hood, and claimed to present truth purged from falsehood. Parker wrote of Robert Earl of Huntington, vulgarly called Robin Hood, who lived and died in 1198. Parker wrote an epitaph that he claimed to have seen on Earl of Huntington's gravestone. It read, Robert Earl of Huntington lies under this little stone. No archer was like him so good. His wildness named him Robin Hood, full 13 years, and something more. These northern parts he vexed sore, such outlaws as he and his men may England never know again.
The antiquarian Roger Dodsworth identified Robin Hood with Robert Locksley and stated that he was born in Bradfield Parish in Hallamshire. He believed that Robin was first outlawed for killing his stepfather when plowing. It is said his mother gave him aid while he was hiding in the forest. There is no way of knowing where Dodsworth derived this material from some unknown source or simply invented it. However, a record of the appearance of a Robert de Locksley in court is found, dated 1245.
The earliest known legal records mentioning a person called Robin Hood or Robert Hood are from 1226, found in the York Aziz, when that person's goods worth 32 shillings and 6 pence were confiscated and he became an outlaw. Robert Hood owed the money to St. Peter's in York. The following year he was called Robert Hood. Robert Hood of York is the only early Robin Hood known to have been an outlaw. L.V.D. Owen in 1963 floated the idea that Robin Hood might be identified with the outlaw Robert Hood or Hobby Hood, all apparently the same man, referred to in 9 successive Yorkshire pipe rolls between 1226 and 1234. There is no evidence, however, that this is Robert Hood, although an outlaw was also abandoned.
Dr. David Baldwin identifies Robin Hood with the historical outlaw Roger Godbert, who was a die-hard supporter of Simon de Montfort, which would place Robin Hood around the 1260s. There are certainly parallels between Godbert's career and that of Robin Hood as he appears in The Guest. John Madicott has called Godbert that prototype Robin Hood. Some problems with this theory are that there is no evidence that Godbert was ever known as Robin Hood, and no sign in the early Robin Hood ballads of the specific concerns of de Montfort's revolt.
Comparing to the legend of Robin Hood and Earl of Huntingdon, Earl is very similar to Robin Hood. Earl was an amazing archer according to the ballad. He had a group of men just like Robin Hood. The gravestone said no archer was like him so good, which shows that he wasn't amazing at the skill of archery. The picture shows little about his outfit, of what Robin Hood would have worn. The gravestones didn't say much about what he stole, but he was an outlaw, so he would have stolen from the rich and given it to the poor. Earl of Huntingdon would be a good candidate for being the real Robin Hood.
Comparing to the legend, Robin of Locksley falls in close with Robin Hood. According to the antiquarian, the Earl of Huntingdon was actually Little John. Robert was known as an outlaw in about the time of Robin Hood's alleged time span. There is also proof that a Robin de Locksley was recorded to live during that time. Robin of Locksley is the most common candidate for real-life Robin Hood.
Comparing Robin Hood to Robert Hood of York, the Robert Hood of York is again very similar to Robin Hood. According to the experts, Robert Hood is the closest to the real Robin Hood. When he was found with 32 shillings and sixpence, which is $198 today, and all of it was for the poor. He was an outlaw just like Robin Hood. It doesn't say much about Robert Hood of York's archery skill, which can be a defining factor of whether or not Robert Hood of York is Robin Hood or not.
Roger Godbert is also a good candidate for Robin Hood because he is an outlaw that is fairly famous in English history. In fact, many people have already firmly believed that Roger is the most fitting character of Robin Hood. The only problem is that there is no evidence he was ever called by the nickname Robin Hood, which is a huge setback.
In conclusion, we learned that the action-packed Robin Hood did good things in a bad way, and other people followed his ways, claiming to be Robin Hood.